my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my standard practice that I apply when creating and managing a project schedule, specifically on the project for the web. So here's my take, and hopefully that will serve you in some shape or form in your projects. So as you log in, first things first, we'll just start by creating a brand new plan from scratch. So here you'll see that there's a number of different tabs that you could include as you start to create your own project plan, but here is my sort of go-to tabs, and I'll explain that in a moment when it decides to load. Oh wow, here we go. Alright, so I'm just going to hide a couple of these tabs, assign to first finish. I'm just going to add in effort as well. And just going to move it around, percentage complete, put it near the front, priority, I close that off. And is there anything else that I put on? Depends on, just going to put that. Alright, so just to quickly explain, the percentage complete is really a way for you to track how far you've progressed with your task. The task name is the description of the task itself. The assign to is what you would assign the task to, be it your colleague or a customer or a third party. The duration on is really a column that specifies how long is the task is going to take to complete from start to finish, but not necessarily down to the actual effort. So the task might take up to a whole week, but the actual exerted effort to complete such task could only be 4 hours. So that is where you'll have the effort column that comes in to actually monitor the actual effort and that's going to take to complete the task. The start and finish is basically the dates that the task is going to start and finish, self-explanatory there. Depend on, this is a column that would be equivalent to the predecessor column, so earmarking when certain task is going to kick off and start. And then bucket is probably more relevant if you're going to be using more of a Canva type of style, but it's good to sort of have there, if you will. So what I'll do, I'll start mocking out a typical IT project plan, and I'll sort of explain one of my sort of things that I generally apply. So first things first, I'll just add a task here. I typically create a top section called Milestones, and I usually create these milestones at the very top of my project plan, just so that I can see what actually moves as I'm progressively updating and maintaining my project plan. Because I may not be able to see the actual milestone if I kept it right in the actual phase itself. Hence, I've taken that out and stuck it at the very top, and you'll see in a brief moment what I mean by that. So I'm going to quickly just create a couple milestones quickly. Alright, so then I'll indent these. Since these are milestones, of course, they've got 0 duration. Alright, boom, boom, boom. So let's create another phase here. We'll call that initiation. So kickoff. Now, these are not generally going to be fully accurate, but this rough project plan is just to give you a sense of an idea, just so you can see how, the things that I typically apply and structure a project plan towards. That allows me to effectively manage a project. So, let's solution. That's the next space there. Let's add another task. Remediation. Let's go close. All right, cool. So I've just quickly created these typical sort of phases that you'll see in an RT project. So the next thing I'll do is I'll start to basically assign these away. So I'm going to annoy my fellow colleagues, so I'm going to self-assign all these tasks to myself, and then keep on going into the next thing. So I'll quickly assign this myself. We're almost there. And then, now of course, if just a quick tip here is that if you already have a, say, a Microsoft Teams channel that's just dedicated for your project, what you could do is on the top right hand corner you'll see that you've got these group members. Simply click on that button. Let's name this project. I'll just test if I can type properly. Alright, so what I was saying is after you name your project, you want to click on the group membership on the top right hand corner, and if you already have a Microsoft Teams channel and all the members that usually work on projects is going to predominantly work on this project, the most convenient thing you could do is add that to the group. So for example, for us, if I was going to do this live, it'll be project management office. I'll click on that, and as I do that, once I have done this, everybody within that group will get notified. And of course, as I'm creating new tasks, just as I was doing before, rather than just seeing myself on the list, I would see everyone in that Microsoft Teams channel appear right here, and you can assign them the task. Otherwise, you could also start typing in their names as well. So then, and then that will start to show them that whoever's in your organization, as you type their name, it will start to appear, and from there you can start to assign the task away. Cool. So now you've got the tasks mapped, you've got assignees going out. Now is to really add in the durations and efforts, and then finally but not least, add in your dependencies or depend on. So I'm just going to quickly just mock something up really quickly. So it may not necessarily be accurate, but I suppose just for a representation of what it's going to look like. So how's there? Build solution. Yep. That pilot. Who makes 16-hour effort. Set to solution. Let's call this 24 hours. Roll out week. Let's keep that like that. 40 hours. Great house built. Call it 1 day. 2 days. That. Position. Okay. 1 hour. Final release. 1 hour effort. Alright, boom. Now let's do the dependencies. So usually the very, very first task of a project, I usually don't add a depend on, but I will make sure that the project start date is relevant. So I'll make sure that, you know, as I'm doing this today, that will be the first day that I would want this task to kick off. Just seeing why it says Monday. Anyway. Alright, so I'll leave that task where it is. Alright, now let's start mapping the initiation out. So that's 7. It's done. Cool. So next task will kick off once initiation finishes. Let's assume this is all pure waterfall for a moment for the simplicity of this video. Next is looking at build. Make sure it's 3, it's 12, 13, and 14. Cool, and then that is on 15. Alright, so that close will kick off once implementation is finished. So that's on 4. And roll into 16, 17, 18. Cool, so this is 19, so done. All right. So I'll dial back to the very top and take you guys through. So this is almost relatively a stock standard IT project where you would see that you'll kick off the project, you'll design it, and you build it, you test it, you may conduct the pilot, you tweak it, and you start rolling out the solution to the wider environment. You provide a level of remediation throughout that process. You eventually then come to the tail end of that process, then you'll start to do a handover to the operationals team, typically service desk, and then they will take on board to then start to manage that environment moving forward. So that's roughly the idea of this plan. Now I'll give you the understanding why I left the milestones at the very top. So if you can imagine, if this project plan was any larger and you've got heaps of tasks, heaps of dependencies to manage, provided everything's all initially linked, as project does move around, sometimes you're too focused on the individual task at the very bottom of your plan, but not necessarily seeing how your overall project is moving. And by having the milestone pinned at the very top, it just gives you a quick and easy way to see how your project is moving, and therefore any changes that you make that doesn't quite look right, particularly if you know that certain phases should be finished in a certain time because of very specific commitments, at least visually you can see it right there and then that something's moved, and then you can go back to start to adjust your plan so that it is in alignment with everybody's expectations or your project goals. So that is why I generally have a section specifically for milestones at the very top, and then for everything else I'll start to build it at the bottom. So yeah, there we have it. This is my version, or at least this is my sort of practice that I do and apply on all my projects day in, day out. And these are the columns of information that I would have as I would be managing a project. Now, but when it comes to also the percentage complete, I keep things relatively simple. I try not to go down the path, if I can avoid it, of actually trying to put down the I go up by increments of 25, and the sanity and the rule that I go by is that if you start the task, you're at 25%. If you are legitimately halfway there, well, guess what? That's 50%. And if you're almost complete with the task that you've got, then it'll be 75. And last but not least, if you complete the task, well, it's 100%. It's 100%. Sorry, not two. So I go up by increments 25 just to keep things relatively simple and able to not needing to really go down to the nth of, well, how much effort have you actually exerted? Although obviously there's merits to each side of the coin. But if you are managing tons of projects every day, this is the standard that I would go by in order to just keep things simple in our day-to-day busy lives. So there we have it. This is how I do it, and hopefully it gives you some inspiration on ways that you could structure your project plan moving forward. And yeah, if you manage it and structure your project plans in a very different way, I would obviously love to hear from you. So comments below, and perhaps share me a copy of what you normally would use as a standard. And with all intents and purposes of basically building a community where we could all just help each other and grow. So until next time, see you then. There was actually just one more thing that I forgot to cover off quickly, and it's probably just a recent feature that was added to the project for the web. So in each of your tasks, if you click on the little icon here to open up the details, if you now then go to the right hand side of the pane and scroll down, there is now the dependency type. So of course, typically in a waterfall, you'll have a finish task arrangement, but you've now able to select other things as well, like finish to finish, start to run things in parallel, or to start finish dependency type as well. And of course you can add in your lag, either defer it or bring it forward as a way of, I suppose, putting in a schedule or a plan that you're trying to do, but perhaps there might be some silly bugs that occurs on the project web that just isn't working right for you. So you could use this as well. Okay, so yeah, I thought I'd just add that quick sort of tip in before concluding the video. So until next time, see ya.